Hello. Like Nina said, public speaking isn't my strong point, but I can't see any of your faces because the light's are blinding my eyes, so this will make this process a lot easier for me. My name is Zara, and like Ahe, I left Preston Manor in 2009, and I thought that I'd come back today and just give everybody an update, I guess, on where I've gone since leaving Preston Manor. So I currently work for the civil service, which means I work for the UK government. I'm on their graduate programme. I change roles every 6 months, and so when I first left university, having never really worked before in my life, I worked for the Cabinet Office, where I had to produce reports for the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, some other really important people that you may or may not have heard of. I then went on to work for the Ministry of Justice, which was vastly different and quite challenging. I worked on court fees, which sounds really boring because no one likes paying fees, but it was quite controversial. I then went to work in Enfield Council on local government, so local issues, things that affect the local area, like healthcare, where I now work, kind of tying into that at the Department for Business Innovation and Skills in the Office for Life Sciences, on a review to help patients access medicines a lot faster. Why I'm telling you all this is because there was one question that a friend of mine asked me the other day is, how would you like to spend 80,000 hours? And 80,000 hours seems quite precise, but it's the average amount of time that you'll spend doing a job, which makes you think that what you have to do has to be important. But before I go on about why I'm working for the civil service and where I'm going to go in the future, I thought I'd start with how I got there in the first place. I went to the University of Warwick, which is in the middle of nowhere, kind of near Coventry and Birmingham. I knew no one when I first went to university. I didn't have any people from Preston Manor joining me. I was surrounded by students from so many different nationalities, and I felt like a massive fish out of water. It sounds like a really odd challenge, because most of the challenges people tell you to say on these events are things that you've encountered at work. But moving somewhere where I had no family and no friends was really difficult for me to adjust to. But it's also become one of the really strong points. I felt during my first year of university, which many of you might go on to feel in the near future, that I wanted to move back to London. I tried to transfer universities to Queen Mary's very early on in my time at Warwick, and I'm really glad that I didn't make that decision. Why did I not make that decision? I keep asking myself, and I think it was because of the people that I was surrounded by. I met people from Hong Kong, from America, from France, from Italy, other people from all over the UK, and I realised that they were all in the same boat that I was. Why this was the best decision of my life was because of the opportunities that I received while I was at university. Skydiving, so that was a really big thing for me. I did a charity skydive whilst I was at university. I volunteered for various organisations. I don't know if the One World event still runs at Preston Manor, but Warwick have their own One World Week, which students organise to celebrate all different nationalities and different cultures. You can go on ski tours, you can backpack across Europe and see how far you can get just for charity. But the best part of my time at Warwick was spending a year abroad in Paris. I studied French and history, which I probably should have mentioned earlier. And my year abroad in Paris allowed me not only to become fluent in French, which I thoroughly enjoyed, it allowed me to meet new people, experience great cheese, great food, great wine, and I go back nearly every year. My experience at Warwick in a whole has kind of taught me to embrace change, to go somewhere where you feel uncomfortable and a bit out of your shell, to try and become a better person or to adapt. And that was through being in a new place as well as being in Paris. I graduated in 2013 with a 2-1. That's when I decided to join the civil service straight out of university. But people think that once you leave university, you get a job, it's kind of set for life, that that's your career and that's where you go in the future. You feel like you've made it. By the time that you're 22, 23, 24, you've made your life and you're just going to continue going on. So sometimes it's hard to find that inspiration to keep you driving forward. So I thought I'd give you a couple of pictures about people who inspired me. My parents. Those two people there in that picture are my parents. My dad inspires me because he speaks about 4 fluent languages. He's a teacher in the local area as well, and he came from a small village in Tunisia which nobody's heard of, called Infida, where he used to walk miles to go to school every day. And to see how far he's come always inspires me and makes me think how far I can go. My mum, because as much as she'd say she regrets it, she had to work whilst me and my sisters were growing up. But to me, she's one of my biggest inspirations. To see my mum work and manage to bring up and raise a family lets me know that women can go as far as men can go. Why that's important is because there are people today who still think that young women won't get paid as much as men, and that's okay, or will have to look after the kids and stay at home, and it's not true. And I think you can see from Mina, who's also been really successful and has raised a family, that women can go just as far. Sheryl Sandberg, in this vein, she is the Chief Operating Officer of Facebook, and she always reminds women to lean in and make sure that they're a part of the workforce, but also that your career isn't a ladder, it's a jungle gym. It's not one straight path up, you have to move from side to side, and sometimes even backwards to go forwards. My final inspiration is Malcolm X. I only recently read his autobiography, even though I studied history and the civil rights many times. And the reason he's one of my inspirations is because at the age of 15, he was told that he couldn't be a lawyer. He got into a life of crime. In his 20s, he went to prison, where he taught himself to read again, to write again, to become the eloquent speaker that he is. That massive amount of change, no matter what age, teaches you that you can't stop learning. Even before his own death, he changed his mind. He was always reforming his thoughts and his opinions, which I find very empowering. So combining Sheryl Sandberg, who says everything's a jungle gym, and Malcolm X, where you can never stop learning, I recently got a new job at a company called Accenture. Accenture is a consultancy which helps businesses transform themselves using technology. It's not an area that I'm strong in. I don't have a technological background. I can't code. I studied French and history. But I'm hoping that with this company I can help change parts of the world. One of the great things that Accenture currently works on is Google Glass, and they're trying to help surgeons use Google Glass to operate live, to record and help teach other students, but also to have the statistics of a patient's kind of like heart rate and so on there on the screen whilst they're working, which I find really fascinating. So yeah, I think that would be a good way to spend my 80,000 hours through traveling and doing something that I really enjoy and embracing new cultures. I was told to end on a quote, and my quote's from Malcolm X, who says, "Stumbling is not falling." And that's because you'll find so many little hurdles, and there'll be so many small things like not feeling comfortable in a new place that might get you down. But it's never the rock bottom, and you can always pick yourself back up.